Alright guys, welcome to your Smackdown review. I'm not going to lie. I am not going to fucking lie here. I recorded a 15-minute review. The audio didn't save. So this is my second time going through the show. So this one's going to be quick. Don't be expecting another 15 minutes because it ain't happening. We kicked off the show with a promo. You'd Bailey, Seth Rollins, Bianca Belair, and Cesaro, who didn't really say anything. He just made the run in. Sasha Banks, right? I'm not the biggest Sasha Banks fan, but when you compare Sasha Banks to Bianca Belair, she's fucking head and shoulders above her. I don't know how Bianca Belair was given this belt. She's awful. She has absolutely nothing apart from the fact she is pretty strong. She'd probably beat me up in a real fight. She'd probably beat me in arm wrestling, and she can swing her ponytail. I mean, that's it. If you take that away from Bianca Belair, she's got absolutely fuck all. Seth Rollins is this is arguably the worst I've ever seen Seth Rollins, and that is also saying something because he's had some really fucking bad characters over the years. When Bailey's the best person in a segment, that's when you know you're up shit creek without a paddle. They had their mixed tag match. Bailey and Seth won. Who cares? Moving on. Up next with Apollo Crews and Big E. It feels like these guys have faced each other about 10 million times in the past 6 months, and that's probably because they have. And we get another Money in the Bank qualifying match. So, I mean, it is what it is. Big E won. Nobody really cares. I don't care. You don't care. Let's move on to the next match. This wasn't even a match. It was a backstage segment, I believe. So Jey Uso's left. Jey Uso said he's not coming back. I guess Jey Uso wants to take his place as the right hand man at the head of the table. And then Heyman says, well, you can do that by winning a match tonight. And we find out that Jimmy Uso, should I say, sorry, is going to be taking on Dolph Ziggler in the main event. How are we supposed to get excited about this? I don't really know. You look at SmackDown back in the day when it first started, you'd The Rock, you'd Austin, in the main events. Fuck me, Mick Foley, you name it, they were in it. So, epic main events. A couple of years later, when you first got the brand split, you'd Hogan came back, you'd still had The Rock, you'd had Kurt Angle, Jericho, Triple H, fucking Taker, you'd all these guys in it. You move forward a couple of years more, when you've got the kind of start of the Ruthless Aggression era, 2003, 2004, towards the end of it, even halfway through it, whatever. You'd Brock Lesnar, you'd Taker, your Angle, your Benoits, your Guerreros. I mean, come on, you fucking look at that. Then you move a couple of years later in to 2006 and 2007. You've got Edge main eventing, Taker main eventing, Batista main eventing, Rey Mysterio main eventing, and even a couple of years after that. I mean, you've still got Taker, you've still got Edge, you've Triple H there, you've Jeff Hardy, you'd CM Punk, you'd Kane. I mean, you look at those guys, and then you look at Ziggler and Jimmy Uso in the main event, and how the fuck are you supposed to get excited about that? I do not know. Then with Nakamura getting crowned the new king, Baron Corbin, King Corbin, whatever you want to call him, was backstage almost greeting. Why? I mean, you weren't. It wasn't an official title. You were basically running around calling yourself a king. King of what country? What were you king of? Absolutely nothing. All you did was wear a crown. Yeah, you said you had all these 40 grand shoes and all that stuff. I mean, you wearing a fake crown on your head isn't going to change your wealth. So he should, realistically, he should still be able to afford all these shoes or these watches and stuff like this. But while they go down this route, maybe next week will Baron Corbin come out dressed like a bum? Probably not, because WWE, when they go into that much detail. But I mean, overall, him losing a match, losing his crown to Nakamura, shouldn't mean shit. It really shouldn't mean shit. Up next, we had Sonya Deville come out and announce Carmella as the first woman participant in the Money in the Bank match. She just puts her in. And I think this is mad, because earlier when it was Apollo Crews and Big E, the commentators actually put over that neither of these guys had been in a match, had been in a Money in the Bank match. Now, Big E'd been there about 10 years, probably Apollo Crews maybe 9 or 8 years. So they've been in WWE a long time, and they haven't even managed to qualify for this match. Plus, the commentators put over the fact that if you do win Money in the Bank, that you're practically guaranteed to become the champion. But they just say that obviously once you're in the match, it's very hard to win. Plus, it's very hard to qualify for the match itself. So it goes from being very hard to qualify for the match to Sonya Deville just putting Carmella in the match, even though with all these qualifiers tonight on SmackDown, with qualifiers on Raw, Carmella just gets put straight in the match. And to me, if that doesn't devalue the match, I don't know what does. Just sticking that in there, Unbelievable. Liv Morgan comes out, says that she beat Carmella last week, so she should be in the match or whatever. Carmella says that look, only stars are in this. This is a match for stars, and Carmella says, "Look at me, look at you." Sonya Deville then books a match and says that if Liv Morgan wins, she can get in the match as well. Liv Morgan does win, but Carmella doesn't seem to care. She just gets the ring announcer to say that she's still the hottest woman in WWE. And I've got to really dispute that. I mean, technically, she's not even the hottest woman in this ring because I know Liv Morgan at the moment, she's going for some, like, internet e-girl look, and it just looks horrible. When they do all that, they do this really shit makeup. It's almost like they're trying to make themselves look like an alien, and that's kind of the dodgy look that Liv Morgan's going for. But, I mean, I'm pretty sure if both of these women had no makeup, or both of these women were trying to look like really feminine, then I would say Liv Morgan's a lot hotter than Carmella. Even if you look at when Liv Morgan was doing the stuff with Lana, and like Bobby Lashley, that kind of love triangle. I mean, Liv Morgan was smoking hot then. So it's just a shame that she's basically going for this dodgy look at the moment. It's not even a skater look. It's not like an emo goth look. It's just like it's like an e-girl, e-fuck kind of look, and it looks awful. But overall, I would say Liv Morgan is hotter than Carmella. Definitely got a bit. I think she's a lot prettier than Carmella, and I think she's got a better body. So I mean, it is for her ass is definitely a lot juicier than Carmella's. So yeah, in my opinion, I think I don't even think Carmella was the hottest woman in this ring. I mean, I think you could even make a case that if Sonya Deville didn't have fucking Triple H's nose, I'm gonna take that back. Even with Triple H's nose, right? Even with Triple H's nose, if she didn't dress like even though she's a lesbian, if she'd stopped dressing like it and wearing these like horrible suits, I'd even argue Sonya Deville's hotter than Carmella because I've seen some photo shoots with Sonya Deville and what's her name, Mandy Rose, and she's a fucking very hot. She's attractive. Let's be real, she is. It's just at the moment she's not really dressing that way in her appearance and stuff like that. But I mean, Sonya Deville is a hot lady. But anyway, let's move on to something that isn't hot, and that is Sami Zayn. Backstage, he gets announced that he has to take on Kevin Owens in a last man standing match next week. And the winner qualifies for Money in the Bank. Then he goes to complain about it with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, and he keeps saying it's a conspiracy. I don't think it's a conspiracy, but I mean, last man standing matches were supposed to be used in like to end a feud, not like a throwaway qualifying match. Like, come on. Like, last man standing match would be like the end of a feud between like Cactus Jack and Triple H, or like fucking Taker and maybe Kane or something like that. It's like, oh, and they're having this. This is a last man standing match. This just doesn't make any sense to me. How What next? Next week we've got an Inferno match to qualify for the Money in the Bank. The week after that we've got a Buried Alive match to qualify. Someone's going to die, but don't worry because the winner qualifies for the Money in the Bank. I mean, fuck off. What is this shit? Do you remember when these kind of gimmick matches were used to end fucking feuds? End like massive rivalries. Oh, these two men, a wrestling match isn't enough. This rivalry's went on far. We need to end this rivalry. We're going to do it with a Buried Alive match. We're going to do it with a last man standing match. We're going to do it with a street fight. And no, it's just we need to try and improve the ratings. Let's try and add a cool match. A last man standing match, Buried Alive match, Hell in a Cell match. All that shit. Fucking garbage. This show is garbage. Roman Reigns then goes to make his address. Wait, did I mention Jey Uso beat Dolph Ziggler? I can't remember if I mentioned Jey Uso beat Dolph Ziggler, but if I did mention that, who cares? And if I didn't mention it, well, I mentioned it there, so there you go. Then we had Roman Reigns go to today's address of the Universal Championship. Jimmy Uso was going to go out with him, and Paul Heyman basically says, "Nah, look, you're still not proven. You're still not, you're still not the right hand man. So you can stay backstage," and that's what he done. So Roman Reigns goes out with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman actually cut a good promo here, mentioning every challenger that Roman Reigns has had and how Roman Reigns has beaten them. Probably the best thing I've probably heard Paul Heyman say in ages, to be fair, because he normally cuts the same shite. But it was nice to see Paul Heyman actually cutting a half-decent promo tonight. Roman Reigns goes to speak. And I don't know if they don't like Roman Reigns speaking or there's no confidence in him, because every time I watch SmackDown, he either never really speaks or he goes to speak and gets cut off. And then he does get cut off tonight by the return of the Rated R superstar, Edge. Edge comes out looking fucking insane as always. I mean, this is a star. Edge's a star. Everyone else in this roster is fucking shite, but Edge is the man, I'm telling you. Right, Edge comes out. beats up Roman Reigns, goes for the concerto. Jimmy comes in, makes a save. Jimmy gets speared through the barricade. Roman Reigns manages to make his escape with Paul Heyman, and that is how SmackDown ends. And basically, this kind of looks like we're going to get Edge versus Roman Reigns one-on-one. We should have got it last time, but we didn't because Daniel Bryan had to stick his fucking nose, his head, where it wasn't he wanted. But now we're finally going to get Edge versus Roman Reigns one-on-one. But this actually surprises me because let's be real, this is a big match, and they wouldn't do this at Money in the Bank. So that tells me that they've got something bigger in store for Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank. I know WWE do rematches, so technically it could be Edge versus Roman Reigns at the next like 6 pay-per-views because it's rematch city. But I actually don't think that's the case. I think that they always want to have like the big match at a big pay-per-view and then like do rematches. So I don't think they're going to do Edge versus Reigns and then have a rematch. I don't think they're going to do that at Money in the Bank and then have a rematch at SummerSlam. So that tells me that they've got something bigger planned for SummerSlam for Roman Reigns. Could that be Roman Reigns versus the returning Brock Lesnar? Could it be the returning John Cena? Could it even be The Rock? Could we get The Rock versus Reigns? I doubt it. If that ever happens, it has to be at Mania. But I do think we're going to get something. So I don't know. To me, it's obvious. To me, you don't even have to think about it. The two obvious choices are Lesnar versus Lashley and Cena versus Reigns. You've got the two fucking MMA destroyers, the two guys that could kill you with their bare hands on Raw, Lesnar and Lashley. And then on SmackDown, you've got the current head of the table, the current face of the WWE. By face, I mean, he's the top guy. I don't mean he's a face, obviously he's playing a heel at the moment, but by face I mean he's the top guy in the company versus Cena, the guy who was the top guy in the company for well over a decade. So to me that has to be the match. It has to be Cena Reigns and then Lashley Lesnar. Will we get that though? No, probably not, because WWE shit into it. By the way guys, there's your review. I did not want it to last this long. This is the second time I had to do this. It's fucking painful. Absolutely painful. I mean, I know when SmackDown came on I was wide awake and SmackDown finishes I'm dead. I know it was 2 hours ago, like 3 hours ago now almost, but come on. This isn't fair. This sucks. And I'm ending this review right here, right now. Thanks for watching. This is like, I know, 3 hours of my night I'm never getting back. My life I'm never getting back, but it had to be done. It had to be done. Anyway, till next time guys, thanks for watching and peace. Oh wait, shit, I need to give it a rating. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10. Edge came back. I mean, come on. If it wasn't for Edge, it'd be getting a 1. But Edge came back, so I'll give it a 2. Solid enough. Solid enough. Till next time. Peace.